Welcome to the SNA Live podcast, hosted by Three the Hard Way. This is for the culture. Black and Latinx. Where you at?
What's good, cigar fam? It's your boy Seaway, and welcome to SNA Live, the show not just about cigars and cigar lounges, but life in general. Because if you're in a nice-ass cigar lounge with your peoples and only talking about cigars, then you've missed the whole motherfucking point. We're recording live, as always, from Smoking Ashes Cigars and Haberdashery, the hottest cigar lounge in these United States. With me, as always, are my partners in crime, the GM and Leak. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, fam? Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here.
We can now be seen on One Institution Media's platform, as we are now part of the OIM family. Today's episode is episode number 20.
20.
We getting up there. Entitled Much Love Like Wimbledon. Like the brother Lil C said from Junior Mafia. She hitting her and hitting him. Much love like Wimbledon.
Yep.
That's right. We're talking about polygamy this episode. Yeah, we going there. So we're going to be talking about the history of polygamy through past civilizations. We're going to be talking about polygamy today in America. Does it work? Will it work? Are we going there? Is that the direction we're headed? And as usual, we have our segments. We have Notable Mention and What You're Rocking With, where we tell you, the people, about what we're feeling, what we're vibing with this particular week. And with that being said, as usual, cut your stick, light them up, and let's get it popping.
Welcome to SNA Live, a podcast like no other. Featuring Three the Hard Way. You want it? You got it. Yes. Episode 20. All about that polygamy life? Are we not? It's the topic y'all ready for? Shall we continue the lie? Or are we really to hear some truth? The choice is yours. But right now it's a perfect time to get your drink, get your cup, get your seat, get your stick, and let's rock. You had mentioned something before.
Yeah.
Where it was, is this a topic, that is America ready for?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, I don't know if a lot of people are ready to have this discussion. Like, we're going to get a lot of looks with this topic.
Not only going to get a lot of looks, we're going to get a lot of people who look in the mirror and just be like, I don't know if I'm ready to reveal that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, if you're currently living that type
Exactly.
of lifestyle. Yeah, because you kind of stand out like oh, man.
That's my point, though.
Yeah, I just put that there.
So obviously there's a lot to unpack for this episode. So before we get into it,
as
usual, we
divert right back to stay on top.
We gotta make sure we get into what we're drinking, what we're smoking. Leek, I'm gonna let you set it off, brother. What do you got today?
So today I am going with the black-owned business. Shout out to Black Star Line Cigars. Great cigars. We have their whole line in here, don't we? Yeah, we have their whole line in here. The Aganorsa Tobacco makes all their cigars.
Yeah.
Really good cigars. Today I'm smoking the Warwich. This is probably their lightest cigar, even though it's a Connecticut shade wrapper. It's actually more like a medium. It packs a little punch to it for a Connecticut.
I mean, and look, also for just to clear the air with people, the shade of a leaf doesn't really necessarily speak to the strength of the cigar.
Exactly. Not always.
You know what I mean? So most Connecticut shades have a higher nicotine output, and that's why sometimes the cigar is a little bit more of a ass kicker, so to say.
You know what's so crazy? I literally picked that one up and then put it down because the one I'm smoking, I was like, I've been meaning to do this one. I'm not going to say just yet, but it's so crazy you picked that one today.
So, yes, Ryan, you are correct. And especially the newer Connecticut's are a lot stronger. These are not what they say.
They're not what the traditional.
Your grandfather's Connecticut.
Yeah, it's true.
What they say.
It is true.
A lot of the Connecticut's are a little stronger, but this one is stronger because of the breakdown. So I'll give the breakdown again. The wrapper is a Connecticut shade wrapper. The binder is a Nicaraguan Criollo, and the filler they're from Jalapa and Esteli.
Okay.
But it's the filler that actually is giving it the strength. I read a little bit on it. The filler, obviously, Jalapa and Esteli definitely, they create a little bit more stronger tobacco.
Yeah, it's more an earthy tone, and it's probably a darker shade leaf filler, so you're gonna get a little bit more of the warmthness and the fulfillment of like an actual true cigar.
So you're getting the flavor from the Connecticut shade, but then again that
wholesomeness is coming from the other.
Earthy is coming from the filler. So
there you go.
Yeah, shout out to Black Star Line Cigars.
Big up to Colin too. He's the one that
Colin,
one of our members had put us onto that over a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, man.
So you can find these here. They're not in a lot of places, at least in the New Jersey area, but we definitely have it at Smoking Ashes.
200 Wall Raven Drive,
Teaneck, New Jersey.
07666. Holla at your boys.
Yes, sir.
Shameless plug.
What you smoking on, Ron?
So to pair off with what we're drinking, which I'll touch on that later, I decided to go with Steve Saka's probably one of his, in my opinion, one of his jewels. Yes. This is the Mi Querida line, but this is the second release from the Mi Querida line. This is the Triquitraca. Yes. Triquitraca is slang word in slang terms rather in Nicaraguan, in the Nicaraguan language, as it refers to a firecracker. So what they did was they blended two strong rival, in a sense, like blends you don't normally put together, and they all wrapped up together in one just to
Gotcha.
And the way they describe it is that it's supposed to come together and explode by the time you get towards the end. So
Okay.
but this is in Nicaragua.
Did you just say as it gets towards the end, it explodes in your mouth? Is that what happened?
No, I didn't say the mouth, but you threw that in.
I mean,
He was trying to get you.
You reached there though. You should have let it develop a little bit. That was a reach. I
You should have let him keep going. He probably would have.
Probably might have slipped a little bit, but
I should have gave you more rope to hang yourself.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a little bit. You reached a little early.
I jumped
you
a little
jumped
too early.
Yeah, I stepped back and hit the 3 now. You reached too early on that one.
He did the harden on you.
Yeah.
Step back.
So
That's a good cigar, though, man.
it's Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
But here, check this out. This is what makes this one one of my favorite cigars of all time smoking. It's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper.
My favorite.
All right, and then in the insides we have Nicaraguan binders, but it also has Nicaraguan and Dominican long filler, which is different. It's not your traditional chop. The complexities are just there's too many to list.
Yeah.
It's
flavorful.
And then this is one of I would actually say this is my favorite size as well. It's a double Corona.
Okay. More than the Robusto.
Yes, because the thinner the cigar for me, the more character profile you get to taste.
Okay.
So this here,
It's a longer smoke too.
well, yeah, technically it can be, but like for me, like I said, the thinner it's, and that's what makes this even more of a bang, because the long fill on this, remember, a Robusto or anything bigger than that, the filler, fills up the most part.
Yeah.
This one's long fill, so having it as a double Corona, you're literally just smoking like a ton of great leaf back to back to back.
Okay.
So this is Steve Saka Dumbarton. A lot of people don't have this in their shelves either. We do have it here, as well at
We got
Smoking
that
Ashes.
exclusive shit, man. We having exclusives.
And I'll let you guys know as the episode goes along. But right now I'm already enjoying it right from lighting it. So, Conway, your turn. What are you smoking, brother?
So first and foremost, before I even get into what I'm smoking, I usually don't wear a hood during our broadcast, but I'm in bad need of a haircut, which I'm getting tomorrow in Bronx.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
now. That's why you got. Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Did you just put a disclaimer out?
I'm not showing my nice lineup today because I just don't have one.
Yeah. I'm whiffing a little something. So, no, but seriously though. So I took maybe like 4 or 5 pulls off of this and was immediately like, oh, this is another one of those sleepers in our humidor that I've kind of brushed over, didn't pay attention to, and I'm loving this right now. So I have the La Mission du Latil. I was gonna fuck it up.
Do it Atelier?
Yeah, there you go. So it's inspired by French wines. It's from the My Father factory. My favorite wrapper, Mexican San Andreas, with the Nicaraguan long filler and Nicaraguan binder.
There you go.
So it has, and
Y'all not playing today. Both
yeah,
of y'all.
no,
Y'all
it's like, and the thing of it is, you'll have descriptions of cigars where it says, oh, it's notes of this, that, and the other, and you smoke that shit, and you're like, I don't taste none of that shit. What the fuck they talking about? This one I actually do. So it's notes of chocolate, pepper, coffee, leather, and wood, and definitely the chocolate, coffee leather part. It's not as peppery as I thought it was gonna be, but that chocolatey and keep in mind it's an undertone. This is not a flavored cigar. That's, I mean, and for those that do
I was
that,
about to explain that before too. When the notes are mentioned, it's not like he's literally smoking a Hershey's.
you
know, and it's
chocolate bar.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so sweet. No,
it's not that. It's undertones. It's very subtle, and we were explaining retrohaling the last episode.
That's when you can
pick up the little subtleties and
you have to train your palate to do this too. It takes a little while. Some people can get it sooner than others. Other people, you have to develop it to understand what that spice necessarily means to you.
Exactly.
How does your body react to it?
There's white pepper, there's black pepper, just different.
There's all kinds of variations of the spices and sweetnesses and earth tones.
But this is not our first rodeo. This is what we do.
Correct.
So we can pick up on those things. Yeah, definitely, man. This shit is amazing. And kind of like you in terms of like favorite size, whatever. The Robusto is my favorite size.
Yeah.
Because I see what you're saying in terms of like when a cigar is thinner, they
For
give
tasting
you,
purposes.
Yes, but also what the Robusto does. So the Robustos are obviously going to be a bigger gauge than a Corona or a double Corona, but it's still short enough such that I think you still can kind of get the flavor. Like one of our most flavorful cigars in the humidor is the Killer Bee.
Yeah, that's a Corona too.
Yeah. Wait, is it a Corona?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a Corona. Yeah, that is right. My bad. I was thinking it was like it was a Robusto, but yeah, you're right. It's a Corona.
And that's why we said usually when we would bring in brands here, when a company would like to, like for instance, when we had brought in the Oscars, the Superflies.
They gave us Corona.
They gave us the exactly.
Yeah, they gave us Corona.
We ran through those because they were so fucking tasty.
Yeah.
They were strong, but we ran through them. They were very flavorful, and you could tell that the blend was on point.
And the blend was on point because when they didn't have the Coronas anymore, and they sent us the Super Gordo joints, and we thought to ourselves, all right, they just fucking ruined the flavor, and we're not big gauge dudes. Like,
we don't like to smoke the 7x70s or 60s is much.
Those Super Gordo joints that they give, like, amazing cigars.
Yeah, they are.
Top seller.
Big seller. Yeah, I was just
seller.
about to say that.
Definitely. So, GM, why don't you let us?
So again,
tell the people what we're sipping on today.
So again, that's another reason why I paired this particular cigar with it.
That's a great pairing.
Because we're drinking the 18-year Florida Caña. This is also a Nicaraguan sipping rum.
Nice.
Okay, this thing, it speaks for itself.
So I missed the number 18 on the joint. So when you brought it, you put it on the table. I'm sipping it. I'm like, yo, this doesn't taste like the normal shit we be drinking when we have the Florida Caña. So I looked at the bottle again and I was like, oh,
big difference.
That's 18.
Yeah. And I figured keep it going just because we had earlier meetings and we already started with rum, so why change it? But again, this is a Nicaraguan rum. We've had Guyanese rum, we've had Nicaraguan rum, we've had Panamanian rum. Bayesian rum. So I mean, you can taste all the worlds, and see the differences with rums. But the great ones all have something similar.
The first time I had that cigar, I actually had it. Sometime I like my first time smoking a cigar. I usually like to pair it with water. But I had that with a rum, and it just all the flavors just popped out.
That's why I did it right now.
So you good pairing, bro.
Yeah, that's why I do it again, because this one here it has a little bit of spice to it too, but it's subtle. And the Nicaraguan rums, even though the 18-year refines it a little bit, but you can still pick up on the undertones of it.
Yeah.
So Florida Caña, Nicaraguan, 18-year rum. And again, I'm a Scotch guy first. Whiskey guy.
I'm the rum guy.
Rum comes afterwards, but I will never turn down a great sipping rum like this.
Oh no, it's. Yeah.
So cheers again, and then guys, match up and pair up. Listen, take some notes of the stuff that we drink too. Let us spend our money first, and you guys can hear it.
We'll be the guinea pigs. We'll let y'all know.
But if you never had this and you're into sipping rums, it's definitely a great rum to try out.
Just don't wait for the episode where we're drinking Hennessy, because it's not gonna happen.
That will never happen.
Just so you don't waste your time.
Yeah, I think I'd rather drink a White Claw than honey at this point. That's real talk. I'm way too past
It's episode 25. We're here sipping some White Claw, kiwi strawberry flavored.
Yeah, I can't do the fucking Henny though. I'm serious about that. I will drink a White Claw before.
I would too.
Like if that's all at the bar. Like if you go to a party and it's like, there's a cooler of White Claws and Henny, where the White Claws at?
I'll take that too.
And I hate them, but over Henny?
Yeah,
can't do Henny no more.
Yeah, we've officially retired.
Yeah, too old for that.
The Henny arena, our jerseys are hanging up in the rafters.
Or in the what's it called? The called the bullpen, but Like when you get locked up.
I think the last time I had Henny, I think I got locked up, so I'm done. Done.
That's kind of where I was going.
We can save that story for another episode, but yeah, I definitely.
All right, so we got to get into our first topic of the day, the history of polygamy throughout past civilizations. So, just so we're not just being presumptuous or whatever when we say polygamy. So polygamy, in a very most general sense, means having multiple spouses, but in the traditional way of how it's played out over the
multiple female.
Yeah, it's one
spouses.
dude with many women.
Yeah, because the other version is a different name, and that's not very common.
Yeah, it's
like polygamy or something like that. It's with an M.
It's no, actually,
polyamorous or something.
Polyamorous.
That just means many lovers. It's polygyny or some shit like that. It's
the same word, just a different.
It's the same base prefix with the beginning of it, but then the end of it is different.
A little different.
Yeah, but we're talking about dudes with multiple wives in this particular situation. But as we go to the second topic, that could switch up a little something. But so it's interesting. Like as I was doing like some reading up on this topic, it pretty much broke down the way I thought it was to a certain extent, but it's interesting that it's, in the grand scheme of things, not having it is fairly new in terms of the history of humanity, like the way we look at things now. Like for instance,
yeah, elaborate a little.
No, I was reading an article and they were saying basically up until about once again grand scheme of things, up until about 10,000 years ago, majority of people were created by a much smaller group of men. Meaning it was like a select few dudes
with a bunch of women.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. I can see that.
But history was like that for a very long time. And then, we walk into, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the African tribes had done this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was based on, they had a lot of factors that they based their, each tribe had different reasons for it. Some of it was, the biggest guy there, they wanted him to represent,
some of it is stature.
Some of it is stature as well,
shows
too.
that you make so much money that you can.
That's
support.
current days, though.
Yeah.
Not back then, though.
Yeah, but also we have to realize, like, technology has spoiled the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
So most of and when we say Africa, just in the reading I was doing, it was mostly like Western Africa. That's mostly farmland, so people are farming. So when you have a farm, there's a lot of shit to be done.
Yes, you need help.
You need help.
Yeah. And you got kids at the same time.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So like hypothetically speaking, you have one woman. She's only gonna push out but so many kids. You know what I mean? And if you have a lot of land and you got to work this farm, you can't just be like, oh well, I got these two boys or these two, kids. That's another thing. Like, what if it's a woman
who pumps out girls?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right.
Or your connection rather with her pumps out girls. It's not just her fault.
Yeah. It's not a blame. It's just, what happens. But anyway, my point is there's a lot of different factors. Like Rod said earlier about like why they would going that route.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back even further, obviously not just Africa, the Bible. A lot of people in the Bible, they all, David and Abraham, they all had numerous wives. You know what I mean?
It's not something that's new.
It's definitely not new.
It's something that, but isn't it crazy? And this is going to skew a line.
I know where you're going to go with it.
But look, there's a lot. I don't even know where to start with this. There's just that much to even try to get on. The thing is, at the end of the day, right, you just quoted the Bible, right? But then at the same time, the Bible turns around and tells you that it's wrong to do it. But it shows you that some of its most prevalent characters in the Bible, they did it themselves. And
I should say figures.
Figures.
When you say characters, it makes it seem like it's fictional, and that's a whole nother
That's
conversation.
another conversation. Another.
We don't know if, not only we don't know if we're ready, we don't know if you guys are ready for that particular.
I don't think they are ready for that
particular episode.
And it's gonna come soon.
It is, but we're gonna ruffle some feathers with that episode.
But we could just ruffle them with this first. So the truth of the matter is, you have a book like that tells you what's what, and then it tells you that you can't do what you're reading to do. It's not good for you to do that.
Because they split it up into two versions.
Yeah.
The Old Testament, that's where those
where
figures
all
you were talking about?
Abraham,
yeah,
David,
exactly.
Saul.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The New Testament was really a part of a whole nother regime,
Yes.
I should say, that created that. But again, there's a lot of reasons why back in the day, like you said, Conway, land, wealthy guys back in the day,
Yeah, they had the show.
and they also had land to tend.
Yeah.
So, I need multiple sons, multiple children to take care of all this stuff that we have.
And also legacy at the same time. Leaving a legacy.
Oh, we forgot another one. We take this for granted too. Mortality rates.
Well,
yeah.
especially back in the day, you
That's my
couldn't guarantee
point.
that
You want
Exactly.
Yeah.
you could have 6 kids, guaranteed maybe 4 of them would possibly die.
Yeah. So you got to up your chances of increasing your
More bullets, more shots.
Exactly, because then it goes to what you were just saying, Lee, about legacy.
Yeah.
Like, if I have 2 boys, back, way back in the day before modern technology and modern medicine, having only 2, that's risky.
One might die
Very.
from sickness. One might go out fighting and die.
Exactly.
Die
Might
in
get
war.
kicked in the
Die
head
war.
by the horses that they
Exactly.
fucking.
you never
Exactly.
know.
By a
Never
fucking
know.
mule. Like, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
But a lot of cultures utilize this as well too, though.
Fuck around, die of whooping cough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I
like
mean-
some throwback shit that you don't even hear about anymore.
Which is funny because like in 60 years from now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you guys died from COVID." Like, oh, and that's how during those times when these things are out, they were very, very serious.
Yeah.
And just the way we look at it with COVID now. But these civilizations back in the day, they also did this stuff though to keep the homes a little bit tighter. You understand? Because if you really realize the workings of a woman in a household, especially during those times, not only did they have to tend to the children, tend to the house, tend to the man, tend to the land, tend to everything, there was only but so many hands that one woman can get her hands on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And having multiple people in the realm to help raise the children. That old saying, it takes a village to raise the children, it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
We've spun it a little bit, but it can tie to a lot of different ways too.
And you notice, as we've been talking about this, we haven't mentioned one thing, which that'll be the next topic. Kind of more to modern times. It's not about just sex. You know what I mean?
It's not a part of it.
No.
See,
When
people hear it.
Yeah, they hear the
It's
word
like,
polygamy.
it's just orgies,
you just wanna have sex
threesomes,
with a whole-
foursomes, multiple people.
Yeah, you want to have sex with multiple ones. It's deeper than that. You know what I mean? Obviously, from what we've been talking about.
Yeah, and I saved some of the stuff because
Yeah.
our other topic, we have to make it more
Modern time.
modern times.
Yeah.
But again, though, like I said, you have watched this, or you've read this if you were a religious person or had to go to religious schools. You have friends that are of different religions themselves. They have storylines that how things go on in their country.
Yeah.
So crazy that you brought that up. I was just about to say, let's not just limit it to Christianity. Like Islam,
That's what I was getting
a
at.
lot of the figures in Islam had, I believe Muhammad had multiple wives.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of the matter of fact, when you break it down, religion plays a big role in terms of like how it spread throughout history and how it kind of tapered off in some areas, because you have, like I said before, Old Testament versus New Testament, where it's like Old Testament, all right, it's cool. New Testament, it's not cool. Islam, there is no Old Testament.
New
It's-
Testament. Yeah, no New
it's
Testament.
The original Quran, Quran.
It's the Old Testament of the book.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know about polygamy until
The Torah's like that too, though.
Yeah, the Torah.
Yeah.
But the Torah, a large portion of, and for any of our Jewish fans, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is why you guys don't reference the New Testament
At all.
A lot of the Torah is premised on the Old Testament. Like
It basically is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They
Like-
just don't count the new anything from Jesus on.
Yeah.
They just don't fuck with.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And I know the Muslim, the Quran, they do reference Jesus and stuff like that. They're not against.
they don't
him.
use the name, but yeah.
No,
they
but they're
reference
not
it.
against him though.
Yeah,
They
they're not
acknowledge
against
that
him.
he was a prophet
Yeah.
as well
But
too.
that's the thing. They still acknowledge that he's the Lord and Savior. And they're
No,
just saying,
they
like,
just acknowledge he's a prophet.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
Muhammad was a prophet.
Correct.
Like Jesus was a prophet. Like they're equating Muhammad and Jesus as just acknowledged prophets.
Correct.
That were here in the human form but all were under, God. And then Christianity, obviously, Jesus. And that's a whole nother. Once again, another
You know what's funny? And if you hear us struggling through this a little bit, it's because there's some things that
it's intertwined.
Yeah, and you can't say something without skewing the line of something else.
Everything's a little touchy.
And again, this is cancel culture. And look, we can sit here and talk all that real talk shit you want. At some point in time, somebody cuts the check here, and we have we're part of multiple platforms and stuff like that.
A media group, so we can't save us so much.
Even though we have the disclaimer, but that wonderful disclaimer. But again, look, the point is that for me, right, when I look at the religion hounds out there, they follow everything to a T. Now, a lot of Muslims still do follow.
So here's
that's what I'm saying. I didn't know about polygamy until I met a Muslim, and he told me that his uncle, it wasn't his father, his uncle had like 3 or 4 wives.
So here's the other interesting thing.
Lucky, that's a lucky man.
Or that's a man with a lot of headaches.
Or he's a very unlucky man.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing though. It's religion, but the religion, it's how it's practiced in the particular country.
Correct.
So I was reading this study, and it was saying how in Western Africa, it's pretty much practiced across all faiths. Doesn't matter on your religion, right? India, Muslim men are allowed to marry multiple women, but in other faiths, because in India you have obviously more than just Muslim people. You have Hindu people, you have
Christianity.
Yeah, but Muslim men, cool. However, in the Middle East, obviously, cool, right? However, in Southern and Eastern Europe, read up on this. This is not just me making shit up. And people when you hear, because of 9/11 and then like the propaganda, whatever. When people think Muslim, they think automatically Middle East.
Yes.
Islam has spread across the planet.
Yeah. Indonesia is all Muslim.
Is what I'm saying for many, many centuries now. So there's a lot of Muslims in Eastern and Southern Europe, and there polygamy is frowned upon, even though they practice Islam.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting.
Not surprised there though.
Yeah, so it's interesting that how it just plays out, not just across religious lines, but religion, and on top of that, the geographical location that you just happen to be in.
Gotcha. It's interesting. I didn't know that there was a lot of Muslims in, you said
Eastern Europe and Southern Europe, yeah. Because we have places like Serbia, you have places like Croatia.
You got a lot of these UFC fighters that come over here, and a lot of them
they're Muslim. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So it's not just limited to a particular area of the planet. It's like when Brother Malcolm made his pilgrimage at Mecca, and he saw all these white Muslims, and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying? Because if you're American, and especially if you became Muslim out of those 60s and 70s, Nation of Islam sects, your view,
jail.
Or jail. Your view of Islam might be limited.
Gotcha.
And then when Malcolm went to Mecca, he realized there's people of the Muslim faith all around the planet that have blonde hair and blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? We don't think of it typically because once again after 9/11, that whole shit. But all regions, all areas of the planet, you find them.
This is a touchy topic.
Well, you know what it is? It's a lot to stay on, especially with the past, because you can only reference the past but so much, and bringing it now to
our notable mention.
Yes.
So Lee, so full disclosure, right? So we have our notable mention, and we have a internal, conversation amongst us three about, who would we want to profile this particular episode. So Mr. Don't Stay on Topic actually had a suggestion that was spot on.
It was, and as soon as you asked, I was
perfect.
like, boom.
Yeah. So we are celebrating that brother Akon, Grammy award winning, platinum selling artist.
Yes. And Jersey native.
Yeah,
forgot about that. And Jersey native with African roots. That brother's doing big things.
Billionaire.
He is, and we'll tell him all about it right after this break.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's the SNA Live podcast, and it's time for the notable mention. Here we go.
And we're back, Episode 20, much love like Wimbledon. So, like I said earlier before the break, we're celebrating this brother Akon, who's our notable mention for this particular episode for a very, very good reason. And I'm gonna let Brother Leak tell you why we have him as a notable mention for this particular episode.
So Mr. Akon, like you said, Grammy Award winner.
Platinum selling artist.
Platinum selling. Originally from Senegal, right? Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal. He's
Senegal.
also
Big ups West Africa.
Yeah, well,
and big ups to changing the infrastructure of multiple countries with
Definitely.
water systems and stuff like that.
Water systems and something else. Electrical.
Probably electric. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he's doing it big, man.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know, look this up. Years ago, he took some slack because he came out. I think he even came out to an award show, and he had like three. No, he went to a radio. He went to
An interview?
radio interview, and he had 3 women on his arm. So he's just thinking he's just trying to pimp and all this. And they start getting into the interview, and he goes, "No, these are my wives."
Yes.
And it was like the face on all the interviewers. They were like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "No, these are my wives. In my culture, this is not frowned upon. This is a regular thing in my culture." And he spoke about it, and it was just going back to how we said, like, people frowned upon it, and he I mean, obviously he's almost a billionaire. He wasn't scared to, he's not ruining his brand either way. You know what I mean? He's already there.
Like, cancel me if you want. I'm rich, bitch.
I'm still rich. Exactly.
Yeah, he's got where he wanted to go.
Yeah, he's not
at
gonna
this
hurt.
point.
But he kind of explained it, some of the things we're gonna get into in a little while. But he was saying, listen, this is about raising children and having that support system around. He's like, listen, I'm a busy man. I'm not home a lot. You know what I mean? But I also love kids, and I have multiple kids, so I know I have these wives that can all take care of my kids, and I know my kids are being taken care of. At the end of the day.
And each of the women, they come in on their own terms.
Yes, he's not forcing them.
There's a breakdown on this.
It's not slavery. He's not doing some R. Kelly shit.
If I'm not mistaken, they sign contracts.
Yes,
it's all contracts.
Yeah.
And they all have their terms and stuff. That's nothing different than a marriage license, believe it or not. Probably a lot cheaper to get out of too.
And all it is the main thing is just the women have to get along. I mean, obviously that's the most
that's where you got to
important
blend. Because when you do that in that lifestyle, that everyone has to pick.
Yeah.
It's not just you. It has to gravitate towards you, but I have to be able to vibe with her too. Is what the other woman thinks. We have to be friends through this. We have to be sister wives. Is what the term is called.
Like in the Mormon society, they actually interview. Like if he has 2 and they're thinking about having a third one, the husband, the male, he doesn't go out and he tells the wives, you go out and you interview her. You let me know, and then you bring
Got
her
it.
back. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's about the woman feeling comfortable at the end of the day. But shout out to Akon. Definitely changed the game. He put it out there. And again, obviously he's rich, so he had the balls to do it. But he put it out there, and not even just that. He was a proud African and said, "This is my culture. I don't fuck with America. Fuck what America thinks about. This is my culture. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do what I do. This is what I was raised. I was raised around this, and there's nothing wrong with this in my culture. So shout out to Akon on that, bro.
Definitely. Big ups to Akon. So that brings us, which is the perfect segue into our next topic, which is polygamy in today's America. Now, from a legal standpoint, obviously, it's illegal, right? In terms of having multiple wives, right? So, bigamy, you once you're married, if you get married again while still being married, it's a crime. As a matter of fact, I think on a federal level, I was just doing a little background research. It said as of 1882, having multiple spouses under one roof was criminalized, right?
Wonder who came up with that one.
But here's the thing, though. So you brought up the Mormons League.
Mm-hmm.
So Utah just passed a bill to reduce the penalties of having multiple wives because I think they recognized, when you think Mormonism, the first state that you think of is Utah. Yeah. So I think they definitely.
It is so true.
First thing,
in fact, the only state you think of.
That's the first thing you think of when you hear Utah. You think about, those dudes have multiple wives.
There was an HBO show called Big Love.
Yes, it was
that's
all
right.
about
That
that.
Which I never saw.
I never saw that either.
But I want to get into it because I'm so intrigued by the concept. Right.
Yeah.
So once again, right, it's like, all right, there's the modern view of, matter of fact, all right, little blurb real quick. The UN, United Nations, they have a human rights committee. So they were quoted as saying back in the early 2000s that polygamy violates the dignity of women, and they called for it to be abolished wherever it exists. Now, here's the real interesting conversation to have. Because we just talked about Akon, and we talked about his wives, and there being an understanding, and him being like, this is my culture, this is what I grew up on. So the question I'm gonna pose to you two is, how do you reconcile the Me Too, the Time's Up, the whole climate that we're in right now with polygamy? I'm just gonna pose that question to you two. I'm just curious, like your personal takes on that.
So I'll answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was one of the main things I wanted to talk about in this whole topic is that, and this is nothing against the Me Too, nothing against the LGBTQ, but just think about this. If same-sex marriage can be legalized, why can't polygamy? Something to think about. I mean,
because it's a divisive.
So, but here's the thing, though.
It's really, but we just talked about. I mean, I know I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm answering.
We talked about all the positive things of it,
but positive for who, and who are the ones that made these rules in the first place? This is where I'm going with it. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so let's just kill the elephant in the room. The white folk who followed their Christianity books and their Bibles back in the day, they saw these tribes prospering. They saw people prospering in these villages, even in their own little slave dwellings when they had their plantations. They still saw them being prosperous to whatever level they were able to.
Preach.
Okay, and then you know what? We cannot allow this to happen because guess what? This is going to close the financial gap faster. If we allow them to have multiple people in one fucking home together,
they're going to start building wealth.
They're going to start building wealth. They're going to amass stuff together. They're going to stay more united.
Yes.
You just mentioned a bunch of things right now that are all divisive engines.
So keep in mind how the imprisonment of black men, how disproportionate it is in this country.
And what did they do? They took the male out of the house.
Exactly.
So now if you have a situation where these children now are being raised by a single mother, trying to make ends meet, trying to raise multiple children, trying to work, putting food on the table, trying to do all these things, and the head of the household is gone, and it's only falling back on one person, you've now essentially destroyed family.
You've destroyed them.
And that was the whole point.
And that's the point I was leaning on with that.
It started from,
Now you mentioned with the Me Too and all that. Again, all those things are just, look, everyone has a voice, everyone has a point, and everyone's voice and point should be heard always.
Yeah, of course.
But at the end of the day, the more things that we keep creating, the more things we have to argue about, and then the more things we can never ever see together eye to eye. So it's like the what was that cartoon or the show back in the day, Lamb Chop? This is the song that never ends. It just keeps replaying itself. You never get to any kind of level ground to talk with people because there's always somebody new, something else.
So I'm gonna hit y'all with something real quick.
I want to touch on something though.
No, go ahead.
Because you had used legality before.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned it's illegal to have multiple spouses.
Yes.
But it is not illegal to father multiple children.
It is definitely not.
As long as you support them.
Sean Kemp can attest to that.
So the point is, it's okay for you to be a bastard.
And Nick Cannon's on his way.
You know, but it's okay to be a bastard in the sense of the word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you don't marry the woman and you're not around, the child grows up to be a bastard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So in that sense, though, how crazy is it, though, that I can go out right now and have 24 children and it's perfectly fine. There's nothing illegal about it.
No, not at all.
But if I wanted to have 2 wives per se to raise a family of 2 or 4 children, I just changed the numbers drastically.
Yeah.
That's illegal though.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
And yeah.
It just makes no sense whatsoever.
So going on, it makes no sense whatsoever. This is what I was gonna hit you with. So I was having a conversation. So I'm recently married. These guys are vets. I'm a rookie. I've only been married a year now, right? Year and almost a month. Before I got married, I was with my now wife for like 5 years. And people kept asking, like, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? And I kind of figured I was gonna do it, but like, I kept getting frustrated with that question because I'm just like, yo, that's a personal decision.
It is personal.
Like, we might, how do you know that
we might not, we don't even like marriage.
So then
like the term of it.
So I started fucking with people and I say to them, well, you know what? Marriage is not real. It's just a social construct.
But you're not wrong.
And they would look at me like I had 3 heads.
But you're not wrong.
And I'm like, but that's dead serious. Like, it's so on point.
It is the truth, though.
So if it's made up,
Correct.
and it's just a bunch of people agreeing like, okay, we're going to do it this way, then it could just as easily
be switched to another way of thinking.
Exactly.
The same way, like, look, back in the day, Wild Wild West, you came and stepped in my land, you touch a blade of grass on my property, I shoot you. Everyone says it's okay. You were justified.
Yeah.
The pastor wasn't damning you. You weren't going to hell for killing somebody because it was justified. Because that's what society saw it was the norm.
Yeah.
You know, so the things that are only wrong are going to be judged to be wrong or right based off of the eye of who's looking at it and what time frame they're looking at it from. So, I mean, again, we're just in a blip of time throughout where
Florida.
Oh, there is always Florida. That is true. If you want to do anything in life, just stay in my ground. But there's almost anything you could do in Florida, though, man. Jesus, that is true, though. That is true. But again, at the end of the day, like, this country is put it this way. If you were to have a situation where there is, matter of fact, let's go to numbers. So, did you know that 25% of all marriages end in infidelity? That's already a quarter. All right, and out of that, there's still 30% where the jury's out, where the spouse suspected but never really truly found out if it was true or not. So that brings it up to over 50-something%.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's happening already. Now, infidelities could be for multiple reasons. You understand? If you also do the research on this, it is not always just about sex.
About companionship.
It's about companionship. Someone just gets you
missing something.
It can be anything. It's not always just sex.
No.
And it's sad that that's the first thought that's usually thrown out. Oh, because you just want to fuck somebody. What if I just want to be hugged? You don't hug me. No, let's just be real. What if you don't hug me?
That's real talk.
You know what I mean? You don't hug me. I get hugged somewhere else, and I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going someplace else for my hugs.
For my hugs, that's it. You know? So screw you guys, I'm going home.
So I'm gonna hit y'all with another one, right? So just looking at the climate, how we have it now, right? So I had to get my car serviced the other day, and there was a pizza shop right around the corner. So I went to the pizza shop, and I never watch daytime TV, but mostly because I'm busy all the damn time. But even when the times I take a little break and may turn the TV on during the day, daytime TV is the worst.
I was gonna say, I would think that you would not spend your generous time that is yours
I
to
don't watch any of that shit.
So, but like, you know, them shows like Today and like the morning show and The View and all that bullshit.
Big ups to Nate Burleson and his morning show. Even though he's a friend, I gotta give him a little props for that. CBS.
Yeah. No, get your
I don't
money.
watch you, Nate. I see your
Get your money,
pics.
my brother. Get your money.
Get your chicken.
But overall, pretty hokey and pretty corny, whatever. So my point is, Demi Lovato.
That term in a while.
Demi Lovato was a guest on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Oh, this is gonna get interesting.
So Demi Lovato has recently come out and said that she is non-binary and doesn't want to be referred to as she. She wants to be referred to as they. Right?
Isn't that what Janelle Monáe? She's the same thing. I
think so. I believe so.
Fluid is the other.
Yeah, gender fluid.
What you wake up and what you feel that day.
So, considering that, I think where we're going as a society is, because we're talking about polygamy or whatever, but that assumes that marriage is still a thing that's happening. And I think that where we're going right now, I don't even think this is going to be a necessary topic going forward, because I could see it going to where people are just like, you know what? I love this person. I'm rocking with them for right now. And maybe 2-3 years from now, I don't rock with them. And maybe 5 years from now, we're rocking with us two and 2-3 other people.
Yeah.
And we're never going to get married though. But that has nothing to do with raising and loving children.
Exactly.
But in today's world, you got to have certain things like insurance and things like that. And it took the same-sex marriages, like not too long ago, to be able to be accepted on somebody on a spouse's medical plan.
Yeah, but think about a wife who's actually technically either on paper married or thinks she's married, and she files her taxes and she files single, but really she's not single because she's married, or vice versa. You know what
There's
I mean?
a lot of things like that.
There's so many legalities to it.
And I think it's always going to come down to money, though, at the end of the day, because again, hypothetically, right? Let's just paint the picture. There's 2 doctors and 2 lawyers, right? One of the male is a heart surgeon, one female is a brain surgeon, and the other 2 females are lawyers, and they all live together. Do you understand the type of wealth that would be amassed by that household? Okay? And what they bring into that household automatically changes the demographic of, let's say that family's black.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you're talking about a group or a family. I'll keep it, because that's what they are. They're a family. They can now move into any of one of the most prestigious neighborhoods you want.
Yeah.
You got to understand that, you know? And now, what happens to now...
And just get a king-size bed and you're good to go.
Yeah, or two of them and just pound them back to back. But the thing is now, you also have, though, these individuals that have been amassing wealth for generations because it's been passed down to them.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, I'm fourth generation Wiltshire and such, and all of a sudden, you know, James, Jane, Jeanette, and Jeanette, they all come over, and all of a sudden, their house is bigger than mine, their cars are more than mine, all this stuff, and it's like, well, how did you do that so fucking quick? But because of that, I don't see this country allowing that to happen, because the people that will use it most to its advantage are the people that used to do it in their blood centuries ago.
So, but here's the thing, though. I agree with you as a general point, but much like how 20 years ago it was like unfathomable that a gay couple would be able to be married and have insurance and have like the same rights as a spouse that a quote-unquote heterosexual couple would have. As we go further, all these people who are saying they're gender fluid and everything, they're eventually going to grow up having kids who now this is their norm. Those kids now become senators. Now become,
if they have kids, some of them just can't.
If
but I get what you're going.
Now they become senators. Now they become governors. Now they become state legislatures. So now, whereas I agree with you in terms of now, but I'm talking like 50, 75 years down the road, it might change up. Because like I said, 20 years ago, it'd have been crazy to think like, oh, a gay couple has the same rights as a heterosexual couple. Nah, that's not going to happen.
I agree.
And until it happened.
I mean, marriage rates are going down already. A lot of these millennials, a lot of them don't believe in marriage. So, it's going down already anyway. And I was going to say, when you was talking about the topic as far as wealth, so I'm in sales and been in for years. I've gone into plenty of homes, and I've been in homes of homosexual couples. They're never broke. They're never broke.
They're not.
They always have money because, like you said, they do, I think they purposely do that. Is like, listen, if I'm gonna marry another man or another woman or whatever, I'm gonna make sure that they're on my status also, because now we can build together. We can have kids, and then our kids will
or we won't have kids, and we have 4 dogs, and we're just gonna
build our wealth.
Yeah.
But now we have more wealth because we're not spending them on kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to go to the point that you said before, though, Conway, the reason why, and again, I'll take this as my standing, or my point of view rather. The reason why I feel that what you were saying before is working nowadays, because it fits the agenda of what today is. From my standpoint, I feel that the more gay couples, the more fluid people, the more binary people, all that stuff, that means there's less children being made. Less children being made means that there's less population, because population is a problem nowadays.
It is. Nobody wants to talk about that. Yeah.
In the 80s, it was so frowned upon to be gay. The 90s was so frowned upon to be gay, but until population became a problem, you notice all the standards have gone out the window. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, no, we encourage that.
Yeah.
We want that. We need to have this. It's okay. And rightfully so.
Population control.
People need to be who they want. I'm all about that, but let's not, just again, from my point of view, I just don't want to say that it's not.
There's a
bigger agenda behind it, man. There really is.
Yeah, I can see
what I mean? And the reason why I'll still stick to my point when I meant before about they won't allow it, because at the end of the day, population, kids, color, race, religion, everything is fine to destroy other than money. When money becomes something, then it becomes the biggest problem.
Yes, now we got issues.
Because you're only going to start affecting a real small amount of people as compared to the masses, where the wealth is really held.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So again, that's my point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because look, I remember gay guys that lived in my community, they would hide. And then they would leave at all times of hours to make sure they didn't get seen, just to get to that train as quick as they could so they can go downtown
to the village,
or hang out where they felt comfortable.
And safe. Not just comfortable, safe. Because like if you assaulted, I don't know if I told this story. I think I did tell it on the LGBTQ and sometimes why episode. But for those that didn't listen to season 1, I'm gonna tell the story again real quick. So it was the South Bronx. It was probably like 1985, 86, somewhere around there. And
With your pops.
with my pops,
I remember
exactly.
the story now.
So we're walking along 3rd Ave, between East 169 and 170th, and there was this dude walking down the street, and there was this dude's chilling in front of the building, and they started throwing beer bottles at him. So I was like, Dad, why did they start throwing beer bottles at the other guy? He said, oh, the other guy is gay. And I'm 6 years old at the time. I had no idea what the fuck that meant. So, and he didn't really explain it. All I knew was this man was different. You know what I'm saying?
He's not like you.
Yeah, and because he's different, they're were
doing this.
chucking bottles at him.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if that dude called the cops, keep in mind, 1985 South Bronx, the cops would have been like, well, I mean, you can't just be walking down the street switching like that. So, I mean, you kind of deserved it. So, just don't walk down that street again.
Or they might join in themselves.
Yeah. Facts.
Talk about 1985 New York.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, real talk.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, real talk.
Don't let them be black.
Yeah.
They definitely jumping in.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk.
Fuck out of here, yo.
Sad but true, man. So so like you said, not just comfortable, but safe.
So again, it's a topic where I noticed that a lot of people always, you look at certain couples. The number one thing is someone's always jealous about the other one getting attention. Okay, I did some reading up on some polygamous families where the structure and the stability of their relationship is the trust, because there's no need to go outside for anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because the odds are, there's another number that was alarming. Like, it's 44% of people they want to estrange. Is it strange? They want to step out on their marriage within the first few years because of lack of connectivity issues. Again, maybe not getting that hug.
Yeah.
You understand? So you watch how many fights, especially in today's world with IG and social media, all these girls running up on another girl, beating her down. We look like animals out there doing this shit too, and the world wants to see it.
Yeah.
But when you study some of this polygamous lifestyle, there's none of that goes on at all in between there, and there's no outside living anymore.
Yeah.
It's literally all about the core.
All about the family.
It's all about the family. Because at the end of the day, again, you mentioned I've been married for 20 years now.
Yeah. Like I said, he's a
I'm
vet.
20 years now.
He's a vet.
And with that being said, like I have 3 children. So I've seen what the having of children did to my wife.
A lot of people don't talk about that.
And she got destroyed. Each child was a different situation on the body, and it takes its toll. Each one takes its toll on them, and they get a little bit more damage as it goes along. And the thing is that doesn't just go to the physical part; it goes to the mental part as well.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And when you have a system where someone else gets you, someone else vibes with you, someone else understands you, because I am like you. If I'm a female, I understand what it is because you're a female. I'm a female. I know what it is.
Yeah.
There's a bigger support system in these homes than there is in any other house.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy stat right there.
Yeah.
Because you'll never see them when they're together. If you look at the rate, they don't separate.
Wow.
And on that note, I'm really want to encourage our listeners to chime in on this one, because I want to know what you think about this particular topic. Do you think we're way off base? Do you think what we're saying is pure bullshit because dudes just want to have multiple women? Or,
Yeah, and none of us are really sitting here saying whether we support it or not. You know what I mean?
we haven't.
We're just speaking.
But here's the thing, though. What you can't do is just automatically dismiss it.
If we're listening to every conversation that goes on nowadays, you gotta listen to this.
You gotta listen to this one.
And this one gets pushed off because, like you said again, it's the natural concept is you guys just want to get laid more.
Yeah.
But when you look at the numbers, they're still getting laid no matter what.
The numbers are the numbers. Definitely, brother. And on that note, we got to get to our next segment that we call What You Rockin' With.
This is What You Rockin' With inside the SNA Live podcast.
And we're back, episode 20. Much love like Wimbledon. Holla at us. Let us know what you think about today's topics. But now we're going to get into What You Rockin' With, where we tell you, the people, what we're feeling, what we're vibing with this particular week. So I'm going to let the GM start it off. Ryan, what you rocking with, brother?
So again, when we usually talk about topics like this, I usually just stay right to the point. Because we live in a world where some people are still a little scared to say things and be themselves and live out, because at the end of the day, truth be told, we're all gonna die. We don't know when, but we're all gonna die.
That is a fact.
It's the one guarantee in this room is death.
And taxes.
And taxes. Correct. You can run from the taxes still, but you can't run from death.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out Wesley.
oh shit.
Fucked up.
So I guess to the point is what I'm saying is that I'm rocking this week with the people who live the lifestyle and they're not afraid to come out with it. I have actually
Give a round of applause for that, brother.
I've actually researched a couple. Like when you look on the social media platforms, like bro, there's like pages and pages that are all dedicated to polygamy.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who are not afraid to show their life.
Cool.
Show their livelihoods, and they teach you about it. And a lot of them, they do these funny TikToks and stuff, but it's literally always the joke of them that it's not just about sex. They have these videos where the woman doesn't feel right because she doesn't want to cook today. The other woman doesn't want to take care of the kids. The other one doesn't want to be with her husband. They all switch roles, and they all are happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. So again, though, Conway had mentioned something before. Like, listen, guys, also, one thing, if this is something that you're not even sure of, that you heard of a lot of, that you research and don't shut down the conversation right away of anything. I mean, if we're going to listen to everything and anything nowadays, we got to listen with open ears wholeheartedly to everything and everyone.
Facts.
So I'm shouting out what I'm rocking with is the people who are just willing to live their lives the way they want, because all they have is just one life, and people are going to talk about you whether you
Regardless.
win or you lose.
Exactly. So you might as well be winning.
Correct.
That's facts.
League, what you rocking with this week?
Crazy.
Brother?
I'm actually very similar to what you rocking with. So it's funny, you had mentioned something earlier when we first started about the state of Utah that's fighting to have it legalized, to have polygamy legalized, right?
I didn't say necessarily legalized. They're just they're decreasing the penalties for polygamy.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, because I did some research, and they're not just in Utah, throughout the country, they are actually trying to have polygamy legalized. So I'm rocking with those families, those couples, those people who are fighting to have it legalized, because like I said earlier, if same sex marriage could be fought and then be passed, why can't the polygamy? I saw, and kind of to your topic where you said the people who are not scared, I saw somebody did a research. This is about 10 years ago, so it's probably even more now. A guy did a study. He studied, or he reached out to 100,000 people. I'm not sure what state it was. Out of those 100,000, 60,000 admitted to being polygamous. So, and that was 10 years ago. So obviously they weren't out. They weren't.
That's 60%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Again, this might have been in Utah, wherever it was at.
No, but still, that's
that's a lot. So it shows you that these people, the people are living these lives, but again, they're not ready to kind of come out and fight for it. So
I mean, much like back in the 50s when you had to leave it to Beaver, husband, wife, 2 kids, dog, white picket fence. There was plenty of gay people that were afraid to come out.
Yes. So like I said, I mean, for all these people, fight for it. If this is what you want, this is the lifestyle. Again, because when you start doing your taxes and things like that, you're gonna have issues. You know what I mean? When whatever it is, child support, whatever the legal documents that's gonna come out, and you're not gonna be able to do things the right way because of your lifestyle, you're not gonna have those rights. So why not fight for it? Again, if the same sex could do it, why can't you do it? So shout out to those families, those individuals. Keep fighting, man. That's what I'm rocking with.
Okay. So
Conway, what are you?
I'm gonna go a little left. So I'm pulling a leak this episode. It's not really gonna be on topic.
Okay.
But what I'm rocking with is this past Thursday, and I didn't tell y'all this on purpose because I wanted to save it for this episode. Erykah Badu was in town.
Okay.
She performed at Radio City Music Hall.
Okay.
I've been to more than a few concerts. This might have been the dopest concert I've ever been to.
That's
in my
dope
life.
to hear.
I've been to an Erykah Badu concert, so I
Yo,
can attest to that.
First of all, she came out doing this little pimp strut with a fur coat on, full length fur, like down to the ankles, with the hat on and everything. You know the Erykah Badu hat that she be rocking. If y'all know Erykah Badu, you know what hat I'm talking about. And just from beginning to end, just killed it. There was a light show. There was like that ooh-wee was in the air. You know what I'm saying? And there might or might not have been botanicals involved when I was experiencing this particular concert.
It's contact. It was contact.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's exactly what it was.
Definitely contact.
Yo, coolest concert. Yo,
That's dope.
And what I did not know, because you can't take this for granted, how somebody sounds recording in a studio versus how somebody sounds live. She has an amazing voice live. Amazing.
Yes, she does.
Amazing.
There's a very, very, very few that can pull off the live performance.
Yeah, very few. And she does it, man. And she can put on a performance. And here's how it kind of actually does tie in to a certain extent. Yo, when you talk about a woman who does her thing in terms of like, you know, having many men in her lives, maybe not all at one time, but I think she had a relationship with Common. She had a baby with Andre 3000.
Yep.
She had a baby with
The other rapper.
not Jay Dilla. What was the
Dude from New Orleans.
yeah. He did fuck. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Had a baby with that brother, and holla at me. Let us know, because you know who I'm talking about. Jay Electronica.
There you go.
Told you it was gonna come to me.
Leak was just about to hit the Google.
I was about to hit the Google machine.
Jay Electronica. I got Google up in my head.
Yes.
So yeah, man. So and she's been doing her thing, man. And look, I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall. I don't know her personally or whatever, but she seems to have a good relationship with the fathers of her children, and she's a queen in every sense of the word, man. And just her whole energy, the whole vibe, like how the crowd was rocking with her. Beautiful, beautiful experience. So shout out Erykah Badu, who put on an amazing performance, and like I said, might have been the best concert I've ever been to.
There you go.
And that brings us to the conclusion of this episode. We appreciate you joining us on this journey. As usual, you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Apple, you can find us on our Linktree, you can find us on One Institution Media's platform.
Got something else to add in now.
What's up?
Coming soon, probably by the next time we release another episode of ours, the OIM, the One Institution Media app, will be out.
Oh, yes,
and
yes,
it will be located on your device, right? Like literally by just opening up the OIM app, you'll be able to watch us, listen to us amongst all of our I guess you can call them co-podcasters.
Fellow podcasters, yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, technology's changing. OIM is really working.
Yeah.
And
out.
the app will be out hopefully within the next 30 days. So I mean, we're on the move, man.
Yeah,
Rockin',
definitely. And that brings us to the conclusion, man. Like I said, in the words of Shirley Chisholm, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. We out.
Peace.
You have just listened to the SNA Live experience. We want to thank you for tuning in with us. We'll be back with another episode.